me see you did it right here. Smoking booth pack, I is out the roof back. In my home crib when they ask me what a stoop at. And you know we dropping, so don't ask if we gon' shoot that. And I'm getting rich, young nigga, by that coupe, smoking booth pack, I is out the roof back.
Throughout my whole life, I've always been trying to find somebody who can help me and someone I can honestly relate to and talk to about my issues. Someone that I can benefit from, and at the same time they can benefit from me. So it could be a mutual relationship and a mutual bond with that person. Growing up as a young child, I never really had a father figure, nor did I have a role model. Most people in my family did not mature. They did not move on from things that had happened to them in the past. And they carry things from their past with them. And that pretty much messed up, them, like, as a whole. And I say this because I noticed that I've heard this from other family members, how things that happened to them, to my family members when they were a child, and even after how many years pass and they have kids, and then their kids will have kids, they're still stuck on things. They still haven't matured from things that happened how many years ago. And no one is working together. There's no cooperation. So if you notice, for example, some families, they have generational wealth and they have a solid foundation. For example, the kids work hard in school. The parents, they have good jobs because they work hard in school. The grandparents or the parents' parents, they save up money for the grandkids. They help provide, they help aid the family financially, and that creates generational wealth for many years to come. And this cycle will always be repeating. And in most black families, whether it'll be Jamaican or African American families, we mostly don't work together. Us Jamaicans are one of the most aggressive countries and races on earth. We don't really lift each other up, nor do we help each other. It's every man for himself. Most times, we're not exactly great with words, and we're not good communicators when it comes to certain things. Well, in my family, like I said, I never had that bond or that relationship. My relationship with my father was non-existent. My relationship with my mother is also non-existent. Before I get into that, the thing is with my family, there is no cooperation. So like I said before, it's almost like every man for himself. No one is planning to work together, and it's just division. There is no peace in there. There was no mental peace for me growing up. I was never taught anything. I had to pick up things on my own. I had to choose my own man, be my own man. I had to pretty much be the complete opposite and try to be the complete opposite of what my family members were. And today, I could safely say that I am the opposite, and proudly say that I am the opposite of my family members in almost every way. And the thing was that growing up in church, I went to a Jamaican Pentecostal church, so growing up in church, we never had that. There was no teachings, there was nothing there for me. I did like the church in general. I like worshiping God. I like that. I like reading my Bible and all of that. I like coming to church, but the church that I had went to, it didn't benefit me at all. It taught me some things, but if I were taught some things, a lot of things that I would have done in the past would be much different, and I would be a different person. The problem with the Jamaican Pentecostal church is that we're not taught anything. If you look back from where the Jamaican Pentecostal churches originated, they weren't really taught, so they weren't taught anything, so therefore they have nothing to give. So I cannot teach you something that I don't know or teach you a learned behavior. I cannot do that. And the thing with my church, and goes for most Pentecostal, Jamaican Pentecostal churches in general, we don't really lift each other up. It's a lot of gossip and chaos. There's no mental peace. For example, the people would criticize you about your hair length and things like that, minor things, but they never focus on major things like teaching people how to overcome daily situations, teaching people how to have mental peace, teaching people how to create bonds and relationships, teaching people how to create lifelong relationships. They didn't teach us any of those things, and I've heard I heard through preaching and many messages that we should all have each other back, but it's not there. It's usually division. They would teach us and they would quote us through scripture and tell us that we should love one another, but there was no love there to begin with. So, in a sense, we're all hypocrites because we want to teach each other and quote scriptures to other people. We don't do that ourselves. And even the Bible says not to judge other people, but you have people judging, especially the older folks. You have people judging the younger folks, which ended up messing me up, or which ended up pissing me off because this is my safe haven. This should be my good spot, man. I should be able to come in here without any worries, man. I should be able to relax, man, chill here. I should be able to talk to people, but no one reached out to me. The older generation, they don't talk to the younger generation. They won't show them their wounds. They won't come. They won't go on their knee and explain to the younger generation that I've been there. You know what I mean? I'm messed up. You can talk to me. No one reaches out because the generation before them never did that, and the generation before them also didn't do that. So there was nothing to start off with. So they have nothing to give. And I lived in that church for a couple of years until I was about 13 years old. That's when the church had branched off. One of the ministers were going to start another church. So the church branched off. So I ended up going to a different church. It was pretty small. The members there, around 30 people. The church itself could hold up to 40 to 45 people. It was pretty small, I can tell you that. And I'm so thankful that I went to that church because it has taught me to be a better thinker and to act smart, not emotional. Be smart, not emotional. It has taught me a lot of things. And I say that because when I went to that church, I felt so isolated, which at first ended up hurting me, but it ended up helping me. I felt so alone because coming from the other church, I never had, and for my family too, I never had any of those skills. I never had any communication skills. I'm a bad conversation starter. I'm good at talking, I'm good at speaking out how I feel, but I'm just a bad communication starter. And when I come into this church, this caused me to be more isolated. Like I said, it benefited me. And not just that, it really made me a great thinker. And it really allowed me to analyze things and think intimately. And to analyze, why things are the way they are. I learned to pay attention to people more. Instead of me assuming how the conversation is going to go, I take precaution. And I think what the outcome could be, what the person might say, based on their eye contact, based on their body language, their body posture, the clothes they wear, their movements, their tone, social cues like that, small things. I pay attention to those things. Whenever it would be after service, I would mostly sit alone by myself and I would look around. And I wouldn't just listen to people's conversation just to get dirt on them or just to say, oh, okay, I'm listening to your conversation. No, I would listen to the conversation to analyze whether, that person and this other person had a good relationship or not. So I'm not an eavesdropper. I'm just an analyzer. That's what I'm doing. And that's what I've learned to do since I came to this new church. I'm more of an analyzer now. So I would just pay attention to people, and I noticed that a lot of people within my church had a great bond with each other. And it was because from the other church, since there was a larger group, their friendships were already made, but it wasn't really strong. Now that the church is smaller, the friendships, the bonds have only become stronger because there is a smaller group of people there. And I felt lonely because where I grew up, within the church that was before, I never had anybody who was on my level mentally. I never had anybody who was as mature as I was. A lot of people say that I'm a smart dude, and I'm very intelligent, and because I think deeply and intimately and about things in general. And it was because of isolation. And like I said, I never really had mature friends. So I learned a lot of things on my own than being around them, because they would have been there distracting me. And if they were, and if I actually gave into that, I would be not as smart or not as mature, I would say, as I am now. And the thing with the church is that they don't teach us anything. Like I said before, you can't teach anybody something that you don't know. And in the new church, even though we never really needed anybody to talk to, because in the other church we had somebody to talk to, but that person didn't talk to anybody. Because when it was my generation, nobody really talked to that person, because that person never made themselves available. And in the church I was going to, since everybody already had bonds, there was no need to have a person to talk to, because everybody is friends there. So I'm over here thinking, I'm like, why did I come here? I like the Christian life, but why did I come to this church specifically? It's just a waste of time, because I see how everybody is having a good time chilling with each other, doing great things. Their bond is becoming stronger each time they talk, each time they interact. I envy those interactions. I wanted to have them. I never had them growing up. Never had them in the church I was before. I never had them in the church I'm going to now. So I was so pissed off, because every Sunday after service, what the hell do I do? I'm like, it pissed me off so much. And yes, I have tried reaching out to people. Yes, I have tried talking to people who I could, potentially relate to. My father, he had multiple children with other women. And he was absent throughout my life, and he has neglected me and rejected me. And I've been asking people so much within my church to talk to me. It's a small group, and I tried talking to people I could relate to. I tried talking to the types of people where, their father wasn't there, their father had passed away, their father had left their family for another woman. The baby mamas, you know them. But yes, I tried talking to people who didn't have a father figure or a role model to begin with. And so far, I've just been neglected and rejected to the point where it has become my normal. And now, I wouldn't say afraid, but I'm very cautious. And then I take precaution, and I think about what I might say and how it can affect and what it could do, and how this will impact my person, me and this person's relationship. So I've tried talking to a lot of people, but I haven't gotten any lucky. I'm still trying, but so far within my church, I haven't had any luck with that. And the thing is, I can't blame them for not talking to me, because if you already have a bond with somebody else, why would you waste your time on someone else and come out of that happiness and to, try to make someone happy, or at least try to make someone, at least feel, what's the word for it? At least make somebody feel welcomed, I guess. I think the right word for it, but at least, I'm just gonna say make someone happy, I guess. I couldn't blame them because I was thinking about it. I was like, if you already have friends who care about you, if you already have people that you talk to every Sunday, why would you want to come out of that to help somebody that you don't normally talk to and somebody that you don't really care about to begin with? And I've spoke to people, when I was thinking about this, I was thinking about all the times I've been neglected and rejected by other people. And I was thinking about the person's response to what they told me. And it all made sense to me. At first, I didn't understand I didn't understand why, and I kept begging and I kept asking for answers because throughout my life I never had straight answers. No one really explained anything to me. When I would ask for an answer, I was never given a straight answer. People would always dodge my questions. So whenever I hear a straight answer, I fill out yes or no or why not. How come? I'm so glad because this person's actually want to work with me. This person wants to cooperate, so I'm so glad. But the people who I wanted to talk to, they didn't want to cooperate. And that's what annoyed me because aren't we in the church? Aren't we supposed to have each other's backs? I mean, I'm tired of coming from, school, home, church, not getting anything. I have to face with these kids at school. Then I come home, nothing there. It's just pure negativity. And then I come to church, there's nothing here for me to feed off of, no positivity because no one is reaching out. I try reaching out to people, I put myself out there. No one is doing anything. I try creating those bonds, nothing is happening. And it's just not working out. And earlier today, my minister had called me. Based on how I was acting yesterday, I would usually play the music, but I play the bass guitar, but one of the guys there, he said that he brought the bass guitar to practice the previous Sunday, and he forgot to bring it to church. So there was no bass guitar there, it was just the drums and the keyboard. And I was sitting in the back of church, and everybody was noticing how I looked really unhappy based on my facial expressions. Because I've tried my very, very best to be shady and hide my feelings, but it's just not working out. I'm not as good as I was as being shady and hiding my true feelings anymore. Everybody was finding out. And I think what mainly gave it away was because I sat in the back of church. I would usually sit in the front to play the music, or whenever I was not playing the music, because I would rotate. I will alternate. We had a plan on who was gonna play the music, so we would do that each week. A different person would be up. So I used to usually sit in the front, but I started sitting in the back. And people started noticing, how come, people would be saying how come, you're sitting in the back, man. So I was like, I just like it. I always come up with an excuse. My grandmother sat in the middle, so I'd just be like, I want to be near my grandmother. I had an excuse. There was an actual reason why, and that was to see everyone. And what I mean by see everyone, I want to analyze everybody around me. When you're all the way in the front, you can't really see everybody. I'm not going to turn my head all the way around just to see one person. No, I want to be able to see everyone and see their interactions and see how they behave around each other. And that's what I wanted to sit in the back for. That's why. So, like I said, my minister spoke to me. He said that he had the same thing. He went through the same thing. His father wasn't around. His father had passed away when he was very young. His mother actually held the family together, similar to my mother. They actually held the family together. And yeah, so my mother has tried to be both my mother and father. She deserves both a father's gift and a mother's gift, because she's tried really hard. So my minister was telling me how, we really need to speak to the young men too, because there's a lot of things that we don't know what's going on with them. And he had told me that, the church really needs to step their game up, and speak to people and reach out to them. And yeah, I noticed that the question, "Are you okay?" or "How are you doing?" has become more of a statement, because while you're asking me that, while that person is telling you or asking you that, they're still walking and talking, they're still doing their business. So what if I had said no? That wouldn't really change anything. And that's just what I noticed, by the way. Yeah. So right after, I said, yeah, I agree with him. I feel like we should totally do that. I'm still reaching out to people to this day. And then I hanged up the phone with him. I said bye. I said thank you for speaking to me. And I was really thinking, there's a lot of people who don't really care about me in this church. I mean, if they cared about me, they would reach out to me. I just asked one dude if I could just call him and talk to him. He said no. So I'm like, I can't speak to you. I can't tell you my true feelings. He's like, the stuff that you coming with the stuff that you're coming to me with is tiny, by the way. So I was so upset because the guy who I spoke to, his father had passed away when he was 4, so he never really had a father figure. But he was also in a relationship. He's actually engaged now. So I kept telling him, dude, I just want to have someone to talk to. And he was like, you know what, figure things out on your own. So I got so pissed because I kept turning to people and I couldn't find anybody to honestly relate to, honestly talk to, truly be honest with. And it's just annoying. And honestly, through all of that, I learned that you have to adapt to your environment. And I learned that you have to be more open. And you have to reach out to people. That's what I've learned. And hopefully in the next part, I'll explain a little bit more about my father and my family members. But I must just say this one last thing. Be smart, not emotional. Be wise, not foolish. Be the complete opposite of a person who is not doing well in life. Use negative people and try to be everything that they are not. Be the complete opposite. Be better than everybody else. Be the best that you can be and try your best in everything.
Yo, what is up, my people? Welcome back to the DNA Squad. I'm Aiden from the DNA Squad, hence the A in DNA, and I'm here to tell you a little bit about the channel. It's a group effort channel created by manager/leader Nathaniel. He's the guy speaking before, and also Dante, hence the N. So DNA stands for Dante, Nathaniel, and Aiden. And yeah, it was supposed to be A&D Squad or A&D Gang, but I was like, I don't want people to think of like "and" the word, so I was like, why not change it to DNA, since I don't know, I thought it sounded better. But yeah, the name creation all started from Dante's idea, so everything that's gonna happen from here on out is all a group effort. My role is the editor, so on behalf of me, I would like to apologize for the video taking so long. I got busy with Christmas break, going over family's house, and just hanging out with my family. So I just really wanted to apologize for that taking so long. But on the end note, appreciate you guys checking in the video. Be sure to like and subscribe and all that, and tell me what you liked about Nathaniel's story. And also, part 2 is coming out, I wouldn't say soon, but be on the lookout for part 2. And before anything else, I would just like to say the gameplay in this video is from me, from my Xbox, clips that I got from my Xbox. So if you have Xbox, or if you have Fortnite, drop your Epic or Xbox gamer tag in the comment section down below, and I'll try to read all of them and try to play with you guys. But yeah, anyways, be sure to like, subscribe, favorite, comment, do all that stuff, share the video so our channel can grow. And yeah, this is the first part to our series, Why I'm the Way That I Am.